What is up, guys? It is Monday evening now. This is gonna be week 8 or 9, I believe. I didn't post last week because honestly, the week was extremely uneventful. I ended up taking no trades at all, and I really didn't feel like posting that I took no trades because there were trade opportunities. I may put up some clips right about now about maybe talking about like the highlights of the whole week of like I pretty much hesitated on a few trades, and that's all there really was to that week. Was I didn't take any single trades. I think I took one break even, something like that, but I did hesitate on a lot of trades, and it was all because I was really comfortable. I spent the last weekend with a lot of my, so I was with a friend who obviously is way more successful than me in this online business stuff, and he has a lot more friends that are pretty much same as him. So I spent a lot of my weekend talking and with a lot of really successful people in the online money space. And one thing I realized was comfortability, sorry. So what I mean by that is I was talking to them and I was just asking them questions like, oh, what really led you to get into what you're doing now? Stuff like that, just general questions, trying to understand more about what, they do, how they think, stuff like that. And what I realized was that they all call each other out when they're coping or when they're obviously getting a little too comfortable. And that's obviously what I have not been doing to myself. I realized this past week that I've been really coping hard with my trading. And what that means is I missed out on a lot of trades. And one of the biggest things I used to tell myself was, oh, it's okay. There's always another trading day. And it's okay. I'm still working. So I'm still technically making some sort of money on the day. But if you think about it, that's the most stupid excuse I could have gave myself, was that, oh, there's always another day. Because yes, there is always another day, but that doesn't mean I should be missing out on my setups, on my trades. So I did have a lot of thinking to do over the weekend. I need to realize that I need to just, walk the fuck in and take the shit way more serious, because obviously I am still progressing with my trading, with my skills. I am getting better, but I'm also getting really comfortable. So still more thinking to do about this, but I'll let you guys know later on what this really all means. But let me get you guys into the trade we took today. So I ended up taking a loss today, and it was really, the whole idea was based off, we got a really strong displacement on the 5 minute. I played a 5 minute gap tap with a 1 minute retrace. You can see the entry right over here. Was the whole idea was just a retrace and maybe we get a flip lower. And the reasoning behind the whole trade was that, so in AM session, we ended up sweeping out this high right over here, left a massive wick, and we also got a nice flip lower. So that's when I started looking for entries lower towards London lows over here. And that's exactly the entry I took. But what I obviously failed to realize, so this was obviously the P&L card too, so I'm down about 1.2, 1.3 across the evals, so really don't have much to play with tomorrow. But my whole idea with the trade was, obviously I explained it, we got the flip lower, obviously swept the highs, but what I failed to see was that price was extremely bullish all of AM session, overnight. And overnight we did also get a little rebalance right around this time. We got a retrace before we displaced higher, so there was no real reason for price to move any lower because we already got a really strong rebalance slash retrace over here. Sorry, cut out. And I did end up journaling all of that down, exactly what I thought going into the day. Pretty much just a really deep journal. If you guys want to read this over, it would be a good learning lesson for a lot of people how to journal properly. But over here, I explained that I enter off the 5 minute gap tap with one of the displacement going break even at internal lows. So this was the internal break even. But what I failed to see was that number one, price higher time frame was still bullish, and also price already rebalanced slash retrace overnight, meaning price did not need to go lower again. As mentioned over here, we got a little bit of a deep retrace here on the hourly. This is the 5 minute, but on the hourly we got a deep retrace, and we obviously displaced higher AM session with these candles as well too. So that's obviously we can take into consideration. And last of all, I already missed the main move longs to the higher target, so the whole move was this long move right over here to that target I had marked out right over here. This long, somewhere around this area here, somewhere around right over here would have been the ideal entry. So playing the second move of the day is always going to be lower probability. And I wrote that understanding what I failed to see, price didn't need to move much lower if we already had a deep retrace overnight. And even with the rejection after taking the main draw, we were still higher time frame bullish, meaning shorts were lower probability done for the day. So clear learning lesson for me. Obviously, I took an objectively low probability trade. But again, it's evals. It is what it is. Tomorrow is a new day. I need to get these accounts hopefully passed by the end of the week or hop on a new set. But yeah, that's the start to the week. Okay, guys. Tuesday. It is Tuesday, 2:39, middle of the day. We ended up taking no trades today, and I'll go into why. So if you can, let me actually go into pre-market. Okay, so this was where market was around 9:30 a.m. What I saw going into market open was that overnight around, so from A's session, first of all, so from, let's say 6 p.m., we dumped 200 points. Then overnight, we bought back up about 300 points. I think, okay, 270 points. And pre-market, right before market open, we ended up dumping another 280 points. So what I saw was we had huge moves made all of overnight session. Going on the higher time frame, it looked chopped as shit. You can see this is what the higher time frame looked like. Really aren't no targets. All I saw was, okay, maybe we have this wick here, which we edge, and we did sweep this low out. So first of all, what I saw was lower price really doesn't make sense. We swept this low out, and we were starting to flip higher. We edged these highs over here, went lower. So you can see we are sweeping highs, going lower, sweeping lows, going higher. So to me, it seemed like it was going to be a range today, but obviously, since we are lowered, we're closer to lower targets. I was going to look for lower targets. Now going into market open, we have pretty much nothing happen. We have a massive wick down, but we are still in a range here. So I'm not looking to take any entries. Same thing here, just chopping around, chopping around. It looks like we are starting to displace, but still we are obviously stuck in this range over here and a higher time frame range. So I wasn't going to take any trades over here. Only until we got this 5-minute candle was I looking for some sort of entry lower. But even entering right over here, this stop, first of all, would be unsafe to play like a simple 1.5R trade. Your stop here does really not make sense because price also well can retrace higher and obviously go lower. So maybe playing, yeah, even this still does not make sense because, again, price can go higher, lower, sweep you out somewhere over here before we go lower. So again, stop isn't really safe. So I scaled down to the 1 minute. I'm going to give you guys a trade tutorial of what I was thinking of taking. You can see whatever. We start chopping around again. That's why I was like, okay, your trade really doesn't make sense. You most likely could have got stopped somewhere here. What I saw was, yeah, you would have been stopped out, right? So can I find the candle? Okay, so that was the candle I was thinking of taking right over here. But again, I did not decide to take this because we are already so close to our draw. What I saw again was we edged here, and just the whole idea of whole overnight move. I'm honestly not even willing to take this trade on evals because if I blow my trade on the evals with such low conditions, I will be really pissed. But it does end up playing out. As you can see, it would have played out. But as I have mentioned, it really wasn't even worth taking on evals because of how bad price was moving. So what else is there to explain? I saw a lot of people arguing today over price action, which was hilarious. I posted a video on my TikTok talking just about that exact fact that when we were ranging, price was chopping around. I really wasn't watching price action too much, but I was sitting in a Discord laughing my ass off, watching grown men argue about was there a good trade to take or not. I find it so funny that people literally spend hours arguing with complete strangers online over was price action good or not. But yeah, for me, no trades. This would have been a really clean trade, but by this time I already was so like unfocused from trading because of how bad price action was before. So simple no trade day for me. Tomorrow is a new day. I only have 2 more days to really do anything with these accounts before they get rebuilt. So it's either pass or blow because I'm not going to fucking rebuild these accounts. Doesn't make any sense. So see you guys tomorrow. Wednesday, guys. Today it is now Wednesday, 4 p.m. We're done trading for the day. We hopped on the charts the whole day. No, I'm playing. So I ended up taking 1 trade today. It was the most retarded, most stupid trade I've ever fucking taken, and I obviously paid the price for it. So I ended up getting pretty much stopped out in about one candle today. Let me just mark out what the trade was. Yeah, okay, it was something like this. So it was around 9:50 a.m. today. Obviously, you can see. Oh, so I didn't show you guys. I mean, you guys probably know yourselves, but Trump announced a ceasefire last night, and we ripped about, I don't even know how many points we ended up going. So about 860 points we ripped up after Trump announced a ceasefire. So seeing this, I thought to myself that there's no way shorts were going to play out. I don't really want to short into any sort of gap lower after we just pumped 900 points. But what I did not think about was that this was just some war news. It was just clear volatility. So realistically, it wasn't that big of a move that really made any sense to not go against. So I honestly went today only looking for longs for some reason, which was obviously the wrong thought process because look what happened. I literally took the one bit buy candle and got stopped out instantly. So pretty much what my trade aligned with was I saw this 5-minute was starting to close. So I scaled down to the 1 minute and I waited for a 30-second tap into this 1 minute gap and had a decent displacing candle out. I don't have the 30-second on trading view. It was on Tradevate where I executed, but you can see this is what the idea was. I was going to go break even over here and just target about 60 points. I think that's what I needed to pass something around over there. But what I noticed was, first of all, obviously shorting against the trend. What was price doing all of AM session? We displace, retrace a bit higher, a higher low, lower low, higher low. I entered right over here because I thought this was going to, start flipping higher. But no, I literally got stopped out. And the most frustrating thing about this over here was that the candle that stopped me out literally would have been an A plus entry, something like this. Play a stop like that, maybe target again around 60 points. I could have went break even pretty much instantly after we swept through this rejection wick or go break even here. But oh my God, was this a beautiful trade? Something like it's the most frustrating part is when you get stopped out and that stop out candle is literally your A plus entry. So yeah, simply just took a really stupid trade today. So I know what was wrong, so I'm not frustrated about it too much, but what I'm frustrated with is that I let myself slip up that hard to take such a stupid loss. I'm just going to look through my journal. What else can I mention? So the reason for the loss was, again, first flip. I took the first flip, which was not a sign of us going higher. It was literally just us a retrace before we go lower. Entered off 1 5-minute candle, so not enough confirmation. Trading, it's a trend. So everything just comes back to I didn't wait for proper confirmation to take the trade. I was so caught up in taking longs for some reason that I completely was zoned out to the fact that, you know what? It looks like price wants to go lower, but it is what it is. I did get a new set of evals because those are pretty much like $100 from being blown. I don't want to honestly sit on that and trying to build back up, so I just bought new evals. Tomorrow is a new day. We'll see how it goes, but yeah, today was a really bad trading day. And I'm thankful that I did not go on some stupid crash out buying more evals and just blowing, trading more. Because I could have done that. I did buy more accounts. I could have hopped right back into the market and looked for some sort of entry, but decided to stay out, take the one loss for a day, get off. It's all about just data collection. I took my loss for a day, done. I'll see you guys tomorrow, and yeah, hopefully we pass these accounts. Okay, guys, it is Thursday, almost 5 p.m., way past the trading session. I end up getting break even today. I'll show you guys why and what I saw going into the day today. Let me just pull it up. So I did end up getting break even. It was a good break even. So it was a great break even on my part. What I saw going into the day was that price was extremely bullish. So this is what market open looked like. So you can see what did I see? First of all, we had this massive 4-hour gap or imbalance, whatever you want to call it. It was that massive news thing. We were holding all of overnight. You can see that we were obviously holding it. We kept edging. Asia session was chopping around, but we were not moving lower. It looked like we were starting to just trend higher overall. So scaling down, I see we have, first of all, so what I saw was we have hourly targets above. We have almost stacked highs. We have this stacked hourly. We have this hourly high right here as well. What I did not see was obviously we were ranging. So, you need to ignore. I don't know why it doesn't show, but like without this candle, it looks like we are starting to trend higher, but we are ranging. So what I made a mistake of was trading as if we don't have any range bound conditions. But I was going into the day hopefully clearly, well, thinking that we would get some sort of really good displacement higher, and I did not end up getting that. So if I can find this. Okay, so market open was right over here. We ended up sweeping out these internal stacked highs right off market open. So pretty much that draw was cooked. What I saw was we ended up going lower, starting to print higher in the 5-minute. A lot of people got cooked trading right over here. But how I save myself from these sorts of trades is I don't enter at the top of price. You can see if you did try and enter right over here, you're entering at the top of price after we swept an internal high. So I stayed out of that trade, which would have absolutely touched you. So that's where I took my trade right over here towards London lows. The reasoning for this trade was, first of all, we failed to move higher, had a strong flip. I don't like playing reversals. Any trade here, I don't like playing reversals because it could, all well said and done, go over here, start printing higher. So I took a 30-second retrace. So my 30-second retrace was from, we had like a 3-minute gap somewhere over here. We tapped into it. Boom, I took this 30-second stop right in the, like above the gap somewhere in this area. Over here, ended up going break even, and the trade ended up getting break even. If I can play boom, yeah, so break even on the trade. And what the thing that frustrated me the most was, so I got off for the day. And I just went about my day posting some videos. I also started doing my taxes because got to get them done. But around 12:30 or some shit like that, so around 11, we got the most beautiful pump higher. Like, look at this. And then we just continued. Straight up just continued going high. Okay, I guess it stopped there, but I think we pumped almost 280 points right as I got off. PM session delivered. PM session genuinely delivered. So that is extremely frustrating. That generally pissed me off because I had those targets higher. I was like, okay, I want to see those targets get taken out. It never did. Now that I'm talking to you guys, what I realized was I most likely shouldn't be too frustrated with this because what does that mean? I had the right target, just not the right timing. And I'm not always going to get the right timing, but that is on me. I should have, maybe set some sort of alert to watch price to see if anything would have happened. But yeah, no trade day. Tomorrow is CPI though. Tomorrow is CPI. I'm going to be throwing up my evals because I am so tired of my evals. So we will see how that goes. If it doesn't go well, it's okay. Just reset, keep going on. But yeah, CPI day tomorrow. I'll see you guys tomorrow morning. I'll try and record. I'm going to screen record the execution because I always do. But we'll see how it goes and I'll catch you guys tomorrow. See ya. Happy Friday, guys. We took no trades today. Price action was extremely atrocious. It was extremely low probability. There was generally no reason to try and even force a trade today. And I'm on evals. I'm trying to take as many trades as I can to get him to pass. But even with how bad today was, I didn't trade at all. I'm making a video on this right now, but you can see this was price action all of AM session. So I usually would get off around 11. So let's say around 11, this was what price action was all of AM session. You can see how atrocious it is. And I got off around 10 a.m. So I got off at this candle right over here, the 5-minute candle producing lower. So my main reason also for not wanting to trade today was, NQ and ES were extremely uncorrelated. While NQ was trying to push down, you can see the 10 a.m. candle, NQ was way below here. ES was obviously trying to go higher. So assets were both extremely uncorrelated. There was literally just no reason to trade. Volume was not there at all. So really simple day to not trade. Days like these are really nice because it was so obvious that we were not going to trade at all today. And I don't know if you guys follow me on my TikTok at all or anything, but this is the sort of video that I made talking about how today went. So this was like... So obviously, as you can see, price was literally moving like a heartbeat monitor. We're going up, down, up, down, up, down. So I'm not trading that. So this is the end of the week now. We ended up with obviously no trades today. Still haven't passed the account, so really unfortunate way to end the week. How we are pretty much obviously with no fresh fundeds yet. I really want to. I need to get the. I don't need. I want to get the fundeds as soon as possible because I'm generally wasting my time sitting on these evals. So looking for next week, what I'm aiming to do is obviously try and pass my evals. I am starting to trade way more aggressive. As you guys saw, I did end up taking 2 losses, which were because I was trading them aggressively. But it's better for me to trade them aggressively on setups that I'm confident in rather than just sit there, wait. And next thing you know, a whole month goes by and you haven't even taken a single trade or you're risking so light. So hopefully next week I will be able to pass my trades. I'm thinking this is probably going to be the end of the video. So if you guys do enjoy this sort of content, please like, follow, subscribe. All my social medias are in the link below. If you have any questions, you can always DM me. I'm always answering my questions. So thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys next week. Bye.